No BS, no long intros. This is what's going on in the housing market this week in Colorado Springs. Over on my left here, you'll see the Market Watch, and that shows you everything that has happened in residential real estate in Colorado Springs for the past 7 days. So, for the past 7 days, we've had 214 new listings. We've had 22 price increases, 246 price decreases. That should tell you something. 32 back on the markets, so they went under contract and now they're back up for whatever reason. The buyer backed out. 111 under contracts and 124 pendings. The way that under contracts and pendings are worded, it's all just when a property is under contract and no longer on the market. There's a couple hundred of those. 247 solds, 14 coming soons. 32 cancels and 27 expireds. So not everybody is selling. Some people, for whatever reason, they just can't sell. And generally, it's usually a higher price point. The seller wants more money for the property than what buyers are willing to pay for it. So it ends up sitting on the market for a little bit. For all of Colorado Springs, you have 1,561 properties that are available on the market right now. Let's switch over to under contract and pendings. That's 895 under contract properties. When we look at actives, when I say all properties, I'm talking about condominiums, patio homes, single families, and townhomes. So if we break this down by single family homes, there are 1,253. So a majority of these properties that are listed for sale are still single family homes. There are 99 condominiums for sale, 17 patio homes, and 192 townhouses. But wait, there's more. We'll take a look at the total number of sales that we've had. We've had 801 August sales. Very similar for July, 786. June was 996. So you can pause this and look at all of these and see how it's compared. This is from January 2022 to the present. The number of active listings shot up for the summer of July 2022, went back down for the winter, and hasn't come up too much until the last few months from June on. If we want to look at this as a chart, the green is the number of active listings, the blue is the number of sales. So we had more sales in the summer months of last year. Again, came down for the winter, had a little bump up for the summer, but we do seem to be coming down in prices now. Now, here's the good stuff, the average and median sales prices for the city. So again, we can pause this if you want to look at all specific numbers, but here we go. For August, the average sales price was $511,020. The median sales price, 440,000. Now, I will tell you, again, pause these, but what we had was a bump up in sales prices, in the average and median sales prices for the summer last year, came down for the winter, came up again for this summer. And if we look at it as a chart, the highs and lows for January of last year on, it's not that much. And 2023 has very similarly followed in terms of prices, what last year did. So we'll go back to the data. In January 2022, the average sales price 480,000, median sales price 430,000. Compare that to January of this year when the average sales price was 493,000 and the median sales price was 420,000. It just went up a little bit and came down. It's that seasonal up and down that I'm not sure is necessarily tied to anything that the Fed is doing or the national economy. This is just our local economy and what's going on here. There's a low number of sales, but real estate is still happening here. It's just you've got to make more money in order to buy a house here. So now take that average sales price of $511,020. I put it through a simple mortgage calculator. You can Google this yourself and click the thing to include taxes and fees so it's as accurate as you can get it. Down payment of 3%. We're looking at an interest rate of 7.08%, and I pulled that from mortgagenewsdaily.com. 30-year fixed rate is currently 7.08%. So jump back here, put that in. Your property tax is $2,000 a year, home insurance $4,000 a year. Yeah, that's, give or take, it's going to be about that. Your total monthly payment is $4,234 a month. That's a $3,325 loan payment and $909 in taxes and fees. It's all rolled in there, but that's at a 3% down payment. That's your total monthly payment. Now we come over to the calculator where we see how much money you have to make per year, at least household, in order to purchase the average priced home here. So again, take that $511,000 home, and I'm going off of a 3% down payment, 7.08% interest. You've got PMI because you're at 3% down, but in order to purchase that $511,000 house, you've got to make $150,000 a year. And so that's the issue that a lot of people are having with affordable housing. I can't make enough to live here kind of thing is because they don't make that much. And so that is the issue that I'm seeing is that, aside from affordable housing, is that wages, as you may or may not have noticed, have not kept up with the cost of living. As the cost of living has increased over the years, a lot of people's wages, that just the general, same kind of work, is not making the same amount of pay that it used to. And some people have really good jobs and they pay six figures. They pay really well, and not everybody does. So that's kind of where we're at. One more thing we'll look at is the average and median days on market. So this is again from January of last year to August of this year. So for August, we had an average days to sell of 26 days, median of 12. That means from the time that it listed on the market to the time that they took an offer and went under contract. So it takes 2 weeks to a month for properties to sell. And that has been that way for a couple of months, few months now. We had a high point back in February where it was a high of 56 average days on market. So, it took, up to 2 months to sell. But otherwise, just look at that chart. Look, I mean, it was 2 weeks for even in January of 2022. It was just selling. It was selling quick, and it's still selling quick. Back to this chart of the average and median sales prices. Look at it. Look at how, I mean, yes, it looks like there's some ups and downs, but pull it back all the way to 2014 to today. Look at those prices. You've got ups and downs constantly throughout the year, every year. And that's just, again, that's that seasonal ups and downs. For the summer, more buyers, more properties on the market, but it's a time when more people want to buy property in general, so prices go up. And then in the wintertime, prices go down a little bit. Not a lot, but it's enough to see it on that graph. But you can see long term, prices are still trending up. There's not a point where it's like the stocks where it just shot all the way back down and you're going to get some amazing deal. You had that blip end of or second half of 2022 last year because home prices shot up quite a bit at the beginning of 2022 and just as sharply came down at the second half. But we recouped almost all of that and home prices spiked this June. They were almost as high as last year's highs and now are starting to come back down. So, my prediction is obvious is that home prices will take their seasonal dip, but what are they going to do next year? Well, if the interest rates go back down, guess what happens? You're going to have way more buyers who come into the market because suddenly they can afford to buy again. It's cheap enough that they can make that monthly payment. And now you're in competition with all these other would-be buyers on the market. That's what's going to happen when the mortgage interest rates drop because Colorado Springs is way in demand. It's always been in demand. So it's going to continue to be that way with our strong economy, with our strong jobs sector, and with a city that is focused on continuing growth and providing something that's in demand for not only residents but tourists as well. So that is going to keep the demand constant here in Colorado Springs. So my advice to people who are thinking about selling their property is you might actually want to wait until next year rather than selling now. I mean, if you sell now, you're at the tail end of summer headed into fall anyway when prices are on the way down. If you can afford to wait until next spring and summer, interest rates may come down then. I can't predict that. But if they do, that's going to be way better for you because you will have a lot more demand and therefore more money for your property when you sell it. I'm Kevin James Bond with Remax Real Estate Group. I've been a real estate agent in Colorado Springs for 7 years. I've worked primarily in the Colorado Springs area and occasionally in Denver and Pueblo as well. So if you have any real estate needs in those areas, please reach out to me. My phone number is 719-291-5924, or you can email me at kevin@kevinjamesbond.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.